Good afternoon. It's Kinninigan. Um, I have to do the job of mainstream archaeologist again because they found a reptilian artifact and they have no idea what it is. They said that these are quote unquote mythical creatures on here, although one of the creatures is a wild boar. Now, when you first look at this, you might be confused like, what am I looking at? Tell you exactly what it is. It's a ceremonial axe head. And yeah, I was trying to track down when this artifact was actually found. I never actually saw this artifact before, although I've saw similar ones. Um, but it's the idea of like I've been doing this reptilian research for a while, and it amazes me how oblivious a lot of quote unquote mainstream archaeologists and philosophers and people in science have no idea. You ask them a simple question like, why did the Nazis use the eagle symbol? Why is the American national logo an eagle? Why does Russia use the double-headed phoenix as its national symbol? In fact, there are a lot of countries that use avian symbols as their logos. Why? And they're just like confused, like, oh, we don't know what you're talking about. Just like when I tell Freemason that they worship reptilians and they try to deny that, although I got pics to prove that they're hypocrites also because their 33-degree lodge in Washington, D.C., where you get initiated into the 33rd degree, is otherwise known as the Serpent's Temple, and it has reptilian stuff all over it. So this is what I mean. I get a little. People have asked me why haven't I published my book yet? Because I think it's going to be a big wake up for human civilization when they realize how much reptilian symbolism is right in front of your face, but they want to deny it. Because I think when people think of the word reptilian, if you don't follow my research, you're thinking of a 1,200-pound velociraptor, and that's not the case. They are avian. In fact, those are not eagles' heads on this axe handle. They look more like vulture heads. In fact, someone said that in the comments here. This video popped up in my YouTube feed. I guess God heard my plea. I said, please, no more Charlie Kirk videos in my YouTube feed. No more. I'm done. I don't want to see any more of it. So anyway, yeah, please share, like, subscribe. By the way, just to let people know, I wish I could afford to donate more. Listen, I have to ask for donations on every video I do because that's how I support myself. So if you can't afford to donate, don't worry about it. I don't put ads on my videos. I don't use Google AdSense, and I also don't use affiliate links, meaning I'm not going to, start a video and then go off on a 3-minute tangent on some product that I'm trying to sell. There's a reason for that. If you ever want me to make a video explaining why, and here's the thing. I'm on my 10th YouTube channel. The first YouTube channel I lost, I had 60,000 subs. And I didn't have to ask for donations back then. And even when I lost my monetization, when you have 50,000 subscribers watching your channel, you tend to get more donations on your channel. So, when they kick me off YouTube 10 times and I have to rebuild a channel every time, it takes a lot of time, and I have to ask for donations to buy food. And so I just tell people I always need cigarettes because, you want me to itemize everything I need every day, like toilet paper, soap, shampoo? No. Okay, so if you could donate to the channel, I'd appreciate it. I actually do need cigarettes. Costs me about $12 in Philly. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. Okay, I am not I'm not funded by any lobby groups. And nobody puts out the quality reptilian research I do. And of course, I got to explain to mainstream archaeologists what they're looking at, although they get funding from universities to go dig shit up, and then they don't even know what they dug up. They're like, oh, what is this? Yeah. Maybe they need to pay me to go to the Smithsonian Museum, go in their basement there, and explain to them all the artifacts they have there and what exactly they mean. Because apparently they're like, This is like the idea of when we took over the New World in America, Native Americans, a lot of them had Sasquatches carved into their totem poles. And mainstream archaeologists still want to deny the Sasquatch isn't real, even though Native Americans told you that he was. They have it carved into their totem poles. They've tried all kinds of bullshit excuses for why they find these. They call them oparts, out of place artifacts. We can't explain these eagle-looking creatures. They're reptilians. It's not that hard. It took me 9 seconds to look at this thing and figure out what I'm looking at. So I wasn't too. I know it was an axe handle. I'll tell you why this is decorated the way it is. This is probably an axe handle that was used for satanic ritual abuse, human sacrifice. Obviously, there's three. Now here's where they shot themselves in the foot. So yeah, if you could support the channel, I have PayPal, Cash App, Vemno. You can sign up to Patreon. Thanks to the two people who donated yesterday. Patty bought me a coffee, and Kathleen gave me a donation. I actually went out and yeah, I did get food with that. But like I said, I have to ask every day because until I can build my channel up or figure out a way to monetize, I am a walking library of occult knowledge. Okay, there is a lot of things I know from what I study that could be very lucrative. I just don't go about the way that other people do. I don't steal other people's research. People have done it to me. They get caught though. Whenever somebody steals my reptilian research, they get caught. Believe me. Just like that. You want to give Kinninigan credit for that? Yeah. So anyway, you're looking at a depiction of an alpha draconian. I had to track down where this object was found. It was found in what is now like Central Asia, which is actually like the Indus Valley, ancient Mesopotamia, more or less. What you're looking at here on the left, that is a hellhound. They try to explain it as a winged dragon. That is not a dragon. A dragon is not a real entity. Dragon, they said this was a winged dragon. I'll show you where the root of the word dragon comes from. It comes from the Latin word draco, or thuban, which is the Arabic word for snake. And this is obviously, I'll show you another double phoenix that's in Washington D.C. These people can act stupid all they want, but a lot like the video I made yesterday. People might think I'm anti-Semitic. I am not anti-Semitic. I don't like Netanyahu because he's a Kabbalist. Okay, I have no respect for black magicians or anyone who wants to worship Alpha Draconian reptilians or summon their archons in occult ritual, and then on top of that, act stupid about it. I'm a very easy person to get along with. Just don't lie to me. If you're into dating trannies, just admit you're a tranny. If you're into black magic, just admit to me you're a black magician. If you're a Freemason, don't tell me you go to the lodge and go to bowling alleys, and no, tell me, I know what you're into. In fact, I know more Masonic secrets than most newly initiated Freemason do, and they despise me for it. I often break their balls, telling them I'll find the 72-syllable lost word of God before they do, because I will, and I'll use it to invoke the Antichrist, and I'll cut his reptilian head off. Oh. They won't like that too much. So yeah, if you worship reptilians, just admit it, and please stop. It's amazing how all these academics don't know shit when it comes to. Here's an example. Before I break down what you're looking at on this ceremony, here's some pics I have here. Here's a depiction of an Alpha Draconian reptilian done for my book by the person. This is one of the, it looks a lot like the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal, doesn't it? Looks a lot like the vulture heads found at Göbekli Tepe. And it looks a lot like the double phoenix heads you're looking at on this axe handle. They're avian in nature. Here's another depiction. I don't know where this statue comes from, but this pertains to the hellhound. That's a hellhound. And in case you did not know, the guardian of Hades, which is the Greek equivalent of hell, is guarded by Cerberus, and he is a canine. This is a human. That's an alpha draconian. This is a mockery of the threefold nature of man, your astral, mental, and physical in one. And this is basically depicting that the hellhounds and alpha draconians have the ability to traverse through all three dimensions, as do humans, but we don't traverse through the dimensions because you're not allowed to unlock the full potential of your pineal gland, which would allow you to do such things as astral projection. Why is human civilization dumbing themselves down like that? Because humans aren't running this planet, which is a whole nother can of worms, and I'm going to make that video too. What do we do when the aliens show up and they see all the reptilian symbolism around Earth, all the black magic symbols? I mean, we got generals going around the military with pentagrams on their shoulder. Yeah, aliens ain't going to be fooled by that. They can sit here and call me. So here's a depiction of an outfit. Now this one's really good because I want you to notice something about it. That is not an eagle's head. This is one of the Anunnaki wall reliefs from Babylon. I have already figured out the mystery. Mainstream archaeologists did not know what they're carrying in these handbags here. I actually did, and that video is on my YouTube channel, and that is another. I've cracked a lot of mysteries with Alpha Draconians, and yes, I do need to publish my book so people don't steal my research because it's good. I can even explain how they travel between dimensions, how they shapeshift, and what are they carrying in that bucket right there. But look at its head. This is a representation. The wings here, they're going to come in. These are going to be important in a few minutes when I show you some Masonic symbolism. They're from Samaria. And it's a depiction of Alpha Draconians, of course, taking human form. One thing about Sumerians, though, I don't believe they weren't the best artists, okay? Which is kind of why I figured out why basically why their sculptures look so messed up. It isn't until the Roman Empire comes along or the Greek Empire, where we actually start getting pagan art, which I'll admit is actually starting to look beautiful. And, some of the sculptures that come out of Rome, of eagles and other things, are very well done. I don't know what it is with the Italians, but God bless them. They know how to work with marble and make impressive things. The Sumerians, not so much. Remember, they tried to copy the pyramids of Giza with their step pyramids, or ziggurats in Babylon, which is why the Maya, the Inca, and the Aztecs all have step temples, because they can't build the pyramids. So they tried to copy them. Because evil cannot create new things. They can only, so their art is not very impressive in Babylon. I'll tell you, I'll be the one to tell you that. And this is recently, I found this, I showed this in another video. This is from an Aztec temple in Mexico. Are you starting to see a reoccurring theme around the entire planet with quote-unquote eagle-headed creatures? Yeah, and this was a temple devoted to, of course, Quetzalcoatl. And on top of that, there is a reptilian right on the Mexican flag. You couldn't be any more obvious than that. So I was able to finally track down. I found a blog post published in 2013 about this. They admitted it is Sumerian. But here's what they're trying to explain. They said that the thing on the left is a winged dragon. That is not a winged dragon. That's a hellhound. This right here. That's pertaining to the demonic realms of the archons which they control, black magic. Alpha Draconians rule through black magic. Okay? This is what you do in black magic. You summon demons and you make Faustian bargains. That's why our planet is so screwed up right now, because of black magicians. So they were trying to say these are mythical creatures. There's a problem, because this creature over here isn't mythical. That's a wild boar. And yes, that is the edge to the axe handle. I have another theory on swine, boars. I'll have to do that. That's a whole other subject. and basically how they fit into all this. You've heard about Jews not being able to eat pork. Same thing with Muslims, and I don't believe the mainstream excuses they give you for that. I think there's something else going on. Meanwhile, as an Irish Catholic, going back to the Italians again, we are some pork-eating mofos. Okay, yeah. Try to find. There's 2 billion Catholics on Earth, and a lot of us eat pork. A lot of us in Europe, Spain, Italy, Ireland. So we're not going to have the pork debate on this channel, but yeah. So this is a ceremonial axe handle. So that's a hellhound, and but I want you to notice something. Hold on. I have to open this image in a new tab so I can blow it up. I want you to notice something about this. Yeah, this is the double heads are pertaining to duality, as above, so below. You have the demonic realms. They're showing that they, and then obviously you have a very bad humanoid form here, which I said they are not they weren't the best artists. Okay, I'll show you some Alpha Draconian symbolism in a weapon that's highly impressive, and yeah, it comes from the Romans of all people. So yeah, this is an axe handle, but notice something about this humanoid. It's got claw feet. How many humans you know have claws on their feet? And don't give me. Yeah, go ahead, make jokes. I know. Um, yeah, it's an Alpha Draconian. It's a reptilian. This axe handle. So I tracked down the museum it's being displayed in, at least, so I can get a good look at it. And that's what it is. This axe handle is probably used for ceremonial sacrifice of humans and animals, probably by a temple priest or something. And it's more ceremonial. It's not. It's not very efficient for battle. And but they're trying to say that this creature over here is a winged dragon. That is not a winged dragon. When you hear the word dragon, show you where dragon comes from. It actually comes from this, which is a reference to Draco, which is the Alpha Draconian star system, because they say it makes the shape of a dragon in the night sky. Look at the head of this dragon. This is an ancient depiction of Draco star system. Um, look familiar? Looks a lot like the Alpha Draconian reptilians, doesn't it? It's a beaked dragon. Yeah, this is where these entities come from. They don't refer to themselves as reptilians. They don't refer to themselves as, well, actually, they kind of do. For example, in China, the ancient reptilian emperors, they admitted that they were descended from the bloodlines of dragons because they are from the Alpha Draco star system. Or, if you're Arabic, that star system is known as Thuban. Why? Because Thuban means snake in Arabic. Now, there was no word reptilian in ancient Rome, but they did have the word serpent. Serpent is made from two Latin words, serpens, which means a snake with a heightened sense of intelligence. A snake with a heightened sense of intelligence. What does your dragon look like? It looks like a snake, right? The symbol of Enki, one of the, now what they do refer to themselves as, I have an ancient Sumerian grimoire that has the evocation rituals for Anana, no, actually Ishtar. It wasn't Assyrian, it was older than that. It has the invocation ritual for Marduk and Ishtar in it, and they refer to themselves as the Agigi. Igigi. That's what reptilians refer to themselves as. There are 300 reptilians they created in Babylon, which Marduk creates, are known as the Anunnaki. Why? Because they did not come from the Alpha Draconian star system. They were created on Earth. Technically, they're not aliens because they were created on Earth. Yeah, try to wrap your mind around that one. They're referred to as the Anunnaki. The 300 Anunnaki who ruled over ancient Sumeria, they each had their own temples, their own ziggurats, their own quote unquote jurisdiction. Freemason rule under jurisdiction. It's also a term in, yeah, imagine that your whole entire system of government is based off reptilian Babylonian structuring. Same thing. Just like, so that's what it is. It didn't take me long to decode this. It's a ceremonial axe handle with a depiction of a alpha draconian right here, the double-headed vulture-like creature with the clawed feet, a hellhound, and a wild boar. Now, going to some, yeah, here's a Roman gladius with the eagle's head on it. Like I said, obviously in ancient Rome, they discovered how to do art better. So yeah, that's highly impressive. And of course, the symbol of the Roman Empire was the eagle, and it still is. It's because Rome never died; they're still in power. Yeah, the more you know. Rome decided a very long time ago it would be easier than trying to rule the planet through a global conquest that wasn't working out too well for them. I wish someone would explain that to Israel. It doesn't work out the way you think it is. So they decided, hey, why don't we just rule the world through secret societies? And those videos are on my channel. It's called Rome and the Greenland Theory. And yeah, so obviously in Rome they started learning how to do better art, and that's a highly impressive weapon. Uh, this is a little more crude, but you gotta give them an A for effort, right? They got the vulture heads, right? So yeah, and that's where the word dragon roots from, or thuban, if you're Arabic. It's not an actual creature; it's a reference to a star system. And this is why I call them Alpha Draconian reptilians. There's a reason. And then, yeah, let's take a trip to. This is a Masonic lodge in Washington D.C. You go here when you're invited to become a 33-degree Freemason, and it is known, although I can't find proof on Google because they probably won't admit that on there. It'd be a little too obvious, but it's referred to as the Serpent's Temple. This is why I just gave you the Latin meaning of the word serpent. Oh, we don't worship reptilians. Yeah, they'll tell you that till they're blue in the face. Although when you first walk in this Masonic temple to be initiated into the 33rd degree, why 33rd? Because that was the age Jesus Christ was when they crucified him. That's why it's so symbolic to them. Yeah, this is what you walk under. That is a hold on, I gotta get these pictures to blow up. No, hold on. It's gonna be hard to do. Anyway, the picture's watermarked, obviously. Freemasons are going to claim copyright on me, watch. So the wings, again, those come from Sumeria. You see the wings right here? This isn't hard to figure out. And then, yeah, you have the double phoenix heads. As above, so below. And what do you see right under that? That is Latin. This is what I mean by Rome is still running the planet. Why is all of our medical, legal, and scientific terms in Latin? When you are first initiated into a secret society, you are called a neophyte. That is a Latin word. It means new initiate. And then they say Latin's a dead language. Every plant, animal that we find on planet Earth is given a Latin surname. We're Homo sapien. That's a Latin word. Every legal term is in Latin. Every medical term is rooted in Latin. So basically, if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, you're You might as well go study Latin. Oh, but there's more. Then when you walk into the Serpent's Temple, this is the only picture I can get from inside the temple. Yo, look familiar? Nothing to see here. Those look like depictions of Alpha Draconian reptilians for me. With another Latin phrase, salve frater, which actually I believe in Latin means welcome, brothers. I know frater means brother. It's the root of the word fraternity. Freemason will tell you that they're just a quote unquote fraternity. There goes another Latin word they're rocking. They don't even know why, right? Yeah, so they could act ignorant all they want. Um, Remember, when you lie, that's breaking one of the Ten Commandments. So they could lie till they're blue in the face. I'd have more respect for Freemason if they just came out and said, "Yeah, we worship reptilians. We use Latin phrases because Rome is in power." Yeah, what's the old expression? They'll piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. And of course, I don't get any money for all these discoveries I make. No, I get kicked off YouTube 10 times because they've already tried to join. I've had 2 secret societies try to get me to join many years ago. That's a whole nother story. And they're mad I didn't join them. Why? Because they know how intelligent I am. I probably could have helped Freemason figure out their true purpose. I would have became a powerful wizard. I'm telling you that. I don't want to be a wizard. And if I was a wizard, I wouldn't need to ask for YouTube donations. I would be summoning a demon right now. Um, and getting what I need, but I'm not doing that. My soul is not for sale, so yeah, so this is and this, I believe this is an altar. That's what it looks like. It's very difficult to get pictures from it's inside this temple. Yeah, greetings, brother. Damn, my Latin is not too shady. I knew Frater meant brother. Greetings. Salve. That's greetings in Latin. Salve. Okay, we're getting Latin lessons here too. Um, so there you go. Another reptilian artifact that's confusing mainstream archaeologists because they just don't want to admit reality to themselves. It's not just the fact that they're finding objects with eagles or vulture like heads on them. Why are we finding them all around the world, from the Aztec temples to Göbekli Tepe to China to America? For the Nazis using them, every secret society is using them, and there's not a reoccurring theme here. There is, and it's I'm calling them reptilian because, and obviously, right under this video, I will probably get the YouTube reptilian Wikipedia link, which is a joke. And yeah, so another reptilian artifact I've decoded. I got to keep making videos like this. I'm done covering psyops, and I'm trying to decapitate the head off the snake. They're trying to distract people with all these other things going on. And of course, I want to make a video about 3i Atlas, the object coming in our solar system right now. If anyone's going to be shitting themselves about that, it's going to be the reptilian, the Alpha Draconians. Yeah, that's the last thing they want, is a benevolent alien civilization showing up trying to help the humans. God forbid anyone try to do that. Could be the Atlanteans. They said they'd come back one day. The Alpha Draconian Empire, your reign is over. You screwed up Earth for too long. We've had it. The best way to, I guess, educate people about this is doing what I'm doing, but I'm only one person. I can only get through to so many people at a time. And believe me, if I was out like doing a UFO conference thing, how many of those you think they let me do before they actually do shoot me? And it wouldn't be a psyop like Charlie Kirk. No, they actually would put me down. They'd do it JFK style. If I went around to stadiums of people like David Icke does, giving lectures on what I know about Alpha Draconians, yeah, how long before the I'd have to definitely hire like Blackwater to be my security. I'm not even joking about that. It's kind of why. But right now, I gave a metaphor the other day about from Game of Thrones about I don't want to be the brightest or the tallest flower in the garden because they're the ones that get plucked first. I simply want to remain in the garden. And like so, anyway, there you go. Another reptilian artifact decoded. It's not hard. Anyway, if you could support the channel, I'd appreciate it. If not, listen, like I said, you don't have to apologize for not being able to donate. I have some subs that help me out when they can. Some that don't mind doing it. Plus, being a Leo doesn't help me too. Leos, yeah, where it's not easy being frugal when you're a Leo because obviously when we have money, we're very generous. If I had the money, I'd take all my YouTube subs out to dinner at one time. It's just the way I am. But we'll hold off on that. So, yeah, it's another interesting artifact. I already got it saved. I save all these pictures. I've accumulated a pretty impressive reptilian, a hard drive full of reptilian artifacts over the years. Let's just say that. Yeah, it's a ceremonial axe handle. Would have been used for rituals, probably, like I said, by a temple priest committing human or animal sacrifices to their reptilian gods. And this is why the power of secret societies is dwindling every day because they cannot control the information of the 21st century. All right. This isn't the 1800s Freemason where you could hide your Masonic secrets because you can't go like on YouTube and go find out what something means. Yeah, that didn't exist 100 years ago, right? But now, you had a psyop go on September 10th, and within a half hour on Twitter, people were already calling out all the bullshit about it. They were working quicker than the FBI was. Just saying. We got people finding reptilian artifacts. They can't explain. What are we looking at here? Where uh, the other excuse was a lot of these ancient people were possibly using psychedelics, and that's why we have these strange artifacts. Get out of here with that. Yeah, I ain't buying that for 1 second. So yeah, there you go. It's it's a reptilian artifact. That's all it is, and they can't explain what it is. I know what those are. Those are magic squares. Yeah, do a video on magic squares. I'll show you what they're used for. They're actually used in invocation rituals to connect black magic circles together. For where you're going to invoke the entity from your magic circle to the one that it's going to show up in, and they connect these two circles using quote unquote magic squares. You thought it was just a numbers game. Like I said, I know about the Kabbalah, I know about the occult, and that's simply because reptilians run, and that's how they rule the world. So of course I had to study it, and I don't learn it for money, sex, and power, which is why most people turn to the occult. And I keep an unbiased opinion when I'm learning this stuff. Like I said, I'm Catholic, but I can keep an open mind. There's an old saying that I like to go by. I forget who. Someone told me it. a while ago. It's basically the truth does not require your approval. So yeah, there's even saying here there's a bird-headed creature. We don't know what that is. A boar, which is not a mythical creature, and a dragon. That's not a dragon. That's a hellhound. Hellhounds are invoked. Hellhounds are talked about in the Animal Tablets of Thoth. I have to do a separate video on occult magic. It's 8 petals. It's a magic star. Okay, whatever. Anyway, that's all for the video. You can support the channel. All the links are in the description. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Take care and God bless.